Alright, so this word problem that you're going to deal with deals with the Pythagorean theorem. So let's just go over some brief notes on the Pythagorean theorem. First off, Pythagorean theorem must always have a right triangle involved with it. That means a 90-degree angle. Okay, C is the letter that is always used for the longest side, and then A and B are what are used for the legs. So this would be called a leg, this would be called a leg, and this is the hypotenuse, and I never spelled this right. Okay, so it's the hypotenuse. It is also the longest side. Okay, so you want to make sure that you have that memorized. Now, let's say we have, there's basically two versions of this problem, where one is you have this building, right? And there's a shadow cast on the building, from the building, and you know that this is 90 degrees right here. Now, what we're given is a length, let's say 26. Okay, so that's how long the shadow is, and that's the hypotenuse of the shadow that's made. The length of the shadow is actually here, and the length of the shadow is, let's say, 10 feet. So what we are given is, here's A, here's C. Now again, remember, C is always the longest side. So the formula that we use for this is A squared plus B squared equals C squared. And all we have to do is take the terms and plug them in. Okay? So we know that this is going to be 26 squared equals B squared plus 10 squared. So the next step that we're going to do is we're actually going to square the terms. So I know that this is going to become 100 plus B squared, and then I'm going to have to do 26 times 26, and that I'm just going to grab my calculator for, just for sake of speed. And 26 times 26 is equal to 676. Then I'm going to subtract the 100. Subtract the 100. That's gone. B squared equals 576. And the opposite of a square is a square root. And so those are gone, leaving me with B equaling the square root of 576. Now this wants you to round to the nearest tenth. So what we're going to do is take the square root of calculator. I just got to grab it here real quick. So we're going to take the square root of 576, and that's going to give us 24. Okay, which is a nice even number. So I'm going to do another one of these though, and I'm going to do it where it doesn't have such a nice even number. Okay, so that's the process though. So let's do another one. Let's say we've got, I think some of you will get this one where it's got like this goofy looking thing, and then there's a triangle off the side here, right? And so let me just draw that triangle. There we go. Okay, so it's a 90 degree. Let's say this is, I don't know, 23, and this is 26. Okay, so same general numbers. So we're going to say this is A, this is C because it's the longest side. Okay, so longest side is always C, and then we have B right here. Okay, now I could change that up and I could say that this is B and this is A, and it's not going to change anything. Alright, so let's go ahead and do this. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. A squared, okay, is just going to remain as A squared plus 23 squared equals 26 squared. Now 23 squared is 23 times 23 And that's equal to 529. And here's a squared. And 26 times 26, oops, 26 times 26 is 676. And so I'm going to subtract 529, subtract 529. That's going to leave me with a squared equals 676 minus 529. That's 147. And then I'm going to square root and square root. It's going to knock that out, giving me a equals the square root of 147. So a equals square root of 147 equals 12.124 ... right? And since I'm only caring about the tenths, so I look here, I look next door, since that's less than 5, I have a equal 12.1. Okay? And that's how you would solve that one. Q3, let's see, number 1, Q3, week 8. Word problem involving the Pythagorean theorem.